Hello and welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, I will try to explain how you can make the best use of this spreadsheet to make your savings journey a lot easier. This spreadsheet has mainly two tabs. One is introduction and another one is sinking fund. We will explain both one by one in details so that you can understand the best use of this spreadsheet. Starting with the first one, that is the introduction tab. So it's just written that the Google Sheet is set up in a way which is very easy and straightforward to use. However, if you have any question, then please message us or reach out to us and we will try to assist you. We will request Heidi to watch the full video first before asking any question to us. And with that, let's start with the other sections of this video. So starting with the summary, which just represents some of the key features of this spreadsheet, such as instant currency conversion. So at the bottom there is another section which shows how you can change the currency as per your requirement. For the demonstration purpose, this spreadsheet is set to the currency of dollar. Next one is it is completely customizable and you can customize the amounts of the saving funds and the goal as per your requirement that fits your situation. And also there are ways you can monitor the progress for each savings goal that we will show how to do so when we will move to the explanation of this next tab, that is sinking fund. Okay, and finally visual summaries for an at a glance overview. That will be also clear when we will explain what's there in this tab. Okay, so the next section is an important instruction regarding use of this spreadsheet, and that is while using the spreadsheet you will see there are areas which are surrounded by these red border lines and there are areas which are surrounded by green border lines. So what it means is whenever you see any area that is surrounded by green border line, such as this one and this one, this means that this area you can and you will need to edit as per your requirement, because your requirements will of course be different with whatever amounts are given here. These are just sample amounts to demonstrate that the spreadsheet works properly and how it works. But of course you can change whatever is there within the green area, this area and this area, and we will go into more detail when explaining this tab. So this is the important instruction, that is if you see an area that is surrounded by green border line, this means you can change it. But if you see an area that is surrounded by red border lines, such as this area and this area, this means you cannot touch it. If you want to make the correct and proper use of this spreadsheet, then you should not touch anything that is within the red border line. Okay, so the next section is explanation of the sinking fund tab. Just a brief instruction or explanation, that is under funds overview table, add sinking fund name, goal and monthly amount and the start amount. So this is exactly mentioned here, that is funds overview tab. You can add sinking fund name, goal, monthly amount and start. And of course there is another table here where you can add the contribution, date wise contribution. Okay, and two additional instructions are also mentioned in this tab. One is how you can change the themes and another one is how you can change the currency. That is what we were referring to at the beginning of the video. That is, it's very easy to change the currency of this spreadsheet as per your requirement. Meaning if you are someone who is in a country where the currency is not dollar, maybe for example yen or any other currency, then you can change it to as per your requirement. So moving on to the next tab and the most important tab of this spreadsheet, that is the sinking fund tab. So here at the top you will get a red borderline section, which means within this borderline you do not have to change anything or edit anything. So these are just the overview and the summary of whatever you have at the bottom section of this spreadsheet. So let's go one by one. So this cell represents the total sinking funds. So for demonstration purpose, we have mentioned 15 categories of saving fund. Now, some of them may match with you or may not match with you. So that is why you can change any of that and all of that as per your requirement. If you want, you can just delete all of that and put whatever sinking fund or saving fund you want to do for yourself. Okay, so for the demonstration purpose, we have these 15 categories of sinking fund with their goal amounts and monthly amounts as well as the starting amount. So this cell represents the total amount of all the sinking funds, the total goal amount. Okay, so this is also viewable from here. So you see it here, 18,000. So here the amount is 18,000, which means that the total goal amount of all the sinking fund is 18,000, and this represents how much out of 18,000 you have saved so far. Okay, and if we see, this amount is 4,360. that is the summation of this column. That is also mentioned here at a glance. That is, out of 18,000 you have saved 4,360 and left to save. So this much you have saved. So how much is left to save? That is 13,640. We can also see this amount from here, which are automatically added for you and also mentioned here, so that you can have an overall look on the progress of your sinking fund so far. That is, in one sentence, if you want to see how much is your total goal, that's 18,000, how much you have saved, that is 4,360, and how much is left to save, that is 13,640. This graph represents the sinking fund overview. So as I have mentioned, there are 15 categories, but of course you can add much more than 15, but for demonstration purpose we have just considered 15 categories of sinking funds. So from this graph you can see the progress of each sinking fund individually. So let's say, for example, for back to school supply savings, you have saved this much and you are left with this much amount, and also for education fund you have saved this much and this much is left. So this is the visual representation. Now if you want to know exactly how much you are left with, then you have to come a little bit below and you can see the figures or the numbers from these tables. Okay, so these are for visual representation without looking at the table, okay, to give you a visual representation of the progress of your sinking funds. This graph represents out of your total goal of the sinking funds, of all the sinking funds, how much you have saved and how much you are left with. And this one represents the comparative amount of the sinking fund. So we have 15 categories, and this represents the comparative contribution of all the categories so far, which you have mentioned here, meaning that here you can see the 15 categories of funds are there, and here as a sample date we have chosen October 1st of 2024. So let's say we have considered on October 1st 2024 you have saved $500 for this education fund, and likewise for all other funds they have saved $400, $300, something like that, on all of that on the date of October 1st. But obviously you can change the date as per your requirement or that fits your situation. So obviously you may not start on October 1st, you may start at any point of time, whatever year you are. So you can just scroll the calendar that pops up when you click on this cell and select that date that fits your situation. Okay, so the summary or the visual representation of this whole table is given on this graph. Now we will go to the second part of this tab, that is these two tables. Okay, we will try to explain what's that. So the first column is sinking funds. So here you will enlist all the names of the sinking funds that are applicable for your situation. And if you have 15, you can add 15. If you have 5, you can 5. Whatever the situation it is, you can change or any of that, or you can delete all of that. Okay, and put your names of the sinking funds and their corresponding goal amount. So this column represents the goal amount, which is for this demonstration education fund we are trying to save $1,900 and monthly amount in the rate of $190. So you can choose this amount at your own that fits your situation, and also this amount, like whatever allows for your situation, whatever amount you are able to save as a monthly saving for this fund. So this way you can assign as many funds you have, sinking funds you have, and as many goals, corresponding goals for the each funds, and the monthly target you want to save for each fund. Okay, and this is the start amount. So let's say for education fund you want to save overall $1,900 at the rate of $190 per month, and at the beginning you already have $190 saved up for this education fund. So this means you have saved so far. So this column is clear, the goal amount, this column is clear, that is the monthly amount, this column is clear, the starting amount, that is you already have saved up this amount. Now we will explain these columns, but before moving to this, I want to remind you again that these columns, you see these are surrounded by green borders. So before this red line, this 1 2 3, these three columns you can change, but from this column you don't have to change. They will automatically update when you change these amounts and these amounts. So now let me explain more here. So these amounts are nothing but a way of recording all the sinking funds. So let's say here you can put whatever date that is applicable in your situation, and on that date if you want to save any amount and for which fund, so you can specify whatever funds you are trying to save. So here whatever sinking funds you will enlist here will be automatically available in this drop down menu. Okay, so here as we have enlisted 15 sinking funds in this column, so that is why we have 15 sinking fund in the drop down menu available. Okay, so let's say I want to save on October 1st 2024 $500 for education fund. Okay, so if we look, so this is customizable, you can put whatever date that fits your situation. This is whatever sinking fund that fits your situation and or you want to save for, and this is the amount you are saving on this date for this fund. Okay, so now let's see, we have saved on October 1st $500, and this is the date of if this is the starting date of your savings journey, and based on this date is estimated. So this means that whenever you put the first date of your savings and whenever you assign these three amounts, so whenever you put the amounts that are within green border, all the amounts within red borders will be updated. This means, so for example, we are taking the education fund into consideration. Okay, so for education fund, let's say we have plans to set up a goal to save $1,900 at a rate of $190 per month, and we have saved up $190 at the very beginning, and from October 1st we have started our savings journey for education fund in the amount of $500. So once you put or once you fill up all the cells that are within the green border, this means for this case these three cells and these three cells, then these cells will be automatically updated and calculated for you. But it means, see, the amount you have saved on the very beginning of your savings journey, that is October 1st, is $500, right? So here you have $500 you are saving on October 1st, and at the very beginning you had the started amount of $190. This means when you add 500 and 190, this comes 690. That is what mentioned here. That is, you have saved 690 so far, and you are left with $1210. Okay, and if you want to see in terms of percentage how much you have saved, so you have saved 36.3%. and estimated months, that is in 9 months you are expected to reach the goal amount. Okay, and what's that estimated date? The estimated date is July 1, 2025. This is based on the input date that you are giving here. Okay, so whatever date you will put for your situation, this date will be estimated based on the starting date and the monthly rate and the goal amount. Okay, so once again, once you fill up these cells within the green border, that is here these 4 cells and here these 3 cells, then all the cells within the red boundary will be automatically updated and will be shown to you. Okay, so the same way I have explained the education fund, it will be equally applicable for all the remaining 14 funds that are mentioned here, and of course whatever fund you want to do for yourself, this explanation will be equally applicable for all the situation. Okay, so and finally the total amounts are also done for you here, and here you have also the total at the bottom done for you so far based on your situation. Okay, so in this table, these are basically as you move on with time, you will put whatever date fits your situation. So let's say you have saved up something for education fund on a certain date, you put the date, you put the fund, and put the amount. This way you will just enter the amounts, whatever amounts you are able to save and whatever date, and for whichever fund you can record all those things within these 3 columns. Okay, and this will be automatically updated here. So this way you can track all your sinking fund savings and know the estimated date of your savings. Now if you want to save a little bit earlier, you want to get the estimated date a little bit earlier, then you can just either reduce the goal or increase the monthly savings rate. This way you can you will see this will automatically get adjusted. So for example, if I want to get the savings goal, if I want to reach the savings goal earlier than July 2025, then I have to increase the monthly rate. So let's do that. Let's try saving it. Let's say instead of 190 we do 250. See, now it is instead of July, the date is now shown April 1st 2025. So this is how, if you want to see any change within the cells within red boundary, you have to change the amounts that are outside of red boundary, that are within green cells. As for example, I have shown the previous estimated date was July 1st 2025, but in order to change this date I have just changed the monthly amount. So vice versa, if I instead of 190 I have made it 250. So if I do the other way around, if I want the date to be much later, then I will reduce the amount. Instead of 190 I am now doing it just 90. So this way you are moving the date to May 1st 2026. You see, so whatever amount you are putting, these dates will be adjusted automatically for you. Okay, so this way you can also make your plan very easily. That is, you can play with this amount. So let's say if you want to say, okay, if I save at a rate of $100, then when we are reaching the final goal amount, and if we save at a rate of 150, then when we are reaching the goal amount. Okay, this way if you have a date in your mind that I need to save this up before this date, this way you can change the amounts and monthly amount and see when you are going to reach the amount, and if you want to optimize that date as per your plan, then you can change these amounts and see right away when you will reach the goal amount of savings fund for that particular fund. Okay, so that's how you can make the best use of this spreadsheet. I hope this was helpful for you to understand how the spreadsheet operates, and if you have any question, please reach out to us and we will try to help you out.